There's a breaking bombshell story that really appears to expose Trump's alarming decline, and it is a specific type of decline that was pinned to President Joe Biden just feels like months ago. I guess it was almost a year ago. Let me explain. Remember when during the Biden presidency, they would call a lid at 4 p.m., a lid meaning the president will not be doing anything more public. You can sort of like reporters can go home sort of thing. And right wing media, Fox News, everybody went into cardiac arrest. And every slow day where Biden didn't have a busy schedule was proof Biden is senile and he needs to be removed. He's being hidden. He's unfit. It's a constitutional crisis. Well, look at what is going on now with Donald Trump. Trump, 79, is quietly doing even less than Biden was doing when it was supposedly a crisis. And the very same people have nothing to say, which makes me wonder, did they really care about how much Biden was doing? Or was it just a desperate attempt to try to attack Biden in any way that they could? What is this based on? There's a New York Times investigation, and it found Trump has scaled back official appearances 39%, basically 40%, compared to the same period during Trump's first term. The number of official events is down by hundreds and hundreds, almost by half of his public duties. And that is just taking massive chunks out of the presidency. Trump's day used to start supposedly around 10:30 in the morning. Trump's day is often now not starting until after lunch anymore. Everything is being squeezed into noon to 5 p.m. on just about every day. This is exactly what they were flipping out about when it was Biden having days that were shorter than some wanted. How can you run the most powerful government on earth from noon to 5? Well, I don't know. Are you worried that that's Trump's schedule? And then here's what really exposes the lie about how Trump is so energetic and all of this stuff. Trump has even cut back on golf. Now, I'm not going to play this game where it's like I criticize Trump for playing golf and I criticize Trump for not playing golf. It's not a criticism. Trump has historically played a lot of golf. Trump loves playing golf. Saturday and Sunday, he was out at every club, no matter what. But over time, Trump's golfing has diminished. You might say, well, David, that's because he's finally busy doing presidential stuff. But it's not. Like I said, his presidential duties have also been cut 40%. And he's mostly only doing stuff since starting afternoon and ending by 5 p.m. In November, and in fact, since October 19th, so this has now been 5 weeks, Trump has only played 2 rounds of golf. It's not because he's suddenly a workaholic. It's not because he's finally putting in the hours to better the country for the American people. It seems as though Trump's body and or brain can't handle the work of being president anymore. And increasingly, he's too tired to golf even. Is this a scheduling issue? No, it's not a scheduling issue. This seems to be a decline issue. Consider the number of times Trump has fallen asleep on camera at recent events. The Oval Office meeting about weight loss drugs, Trump was struggling to stay awake, reacted when someone collapsed behind him. That's what it took to wake Trump up. So we have that. And then, of course, we have the medical secrecy. Trump, after revealing that he got an MRI at Walter Reed, doesn't know why he got it, doesn't know what they were looking for. The MRI wasn't mentioned in the medical disclosures. So none of it is reassuring. And then I know you all have noticed this. Even if you look at videos of Trump being interviewed 2 years ago, his speech has declined dramatically. The breadth of vocabulary has declined. It's not even the same guy from 2023, never mind 2020, never mind 2016. So we've just got to be honest. Trump's slowing down and it is accelerating. The things that we were told were dispositively negative about Biden, the reduced schedule, the reduced public events, et cetera. Trump's doing all of the exact same stuff. And so why don't the MAGAs care? Well, it's because it's Trump. They only cared about it when it was Biden. But there is a larger political issue that MAGA also doesn't want to talk about, which is that we are now hearing, even from Dr. John Gartner, for example, Trump's brain isn't going to make it to the end of his term. His schedule is shrinking. It seems to be coinciding with what mental health experts are observing publicly. What is going to happen here? Is JD Vance, who doesn't have a cult behind him, going to have to take up some of the duties? I don't know. MAGA really is a one-man personality cult. And without Trump, I don't know what happens to the Republican Party. You combine that with tariffs driving more inflation. You combine that with healthcare costs that are skyrocketing. Republicans should own the fallout from all of this, and it could reshape the political map. But I just need the right wingers to answer some really specific questions. If Biden had a 40% schedule reduction, if Biden didn't start work until afternoon, remember, Biden was starting at 10 and they said that's too late. Trump's starting at noon. If Biden suddenly stopped, Biden wasn't a golfer, but if Biden stopped riding his bike, if Biden fell asleep during meetings, if Biden had a secret MRI, would they shrug? Would they just go, that's not really a story? Or would they demand that he be removed from office? Well, we know the answer because we saw it while Biden was president. So I want to hear from the people that are supportive of Trump and think this is no big deal. Why don't you care that he's working a noon to 5 or 12:30 to 5 and has cut his public and official duties by 40%? Donald Trump has already packed his second-term cabinet with loyalists. He's threatened deportation as political punishment. He's expanded executive authority in ways we have not seen in modern history. These are real changes that are happening right now. And what's even more alarming is that a lot of the media is either glossing over the worst of it or they're reframing it so it all sounds a little more palatable. And that is why I use Ground News. This is a news comparison tool. Doesn't just feed you headlines. It shows you here's how different outlets, left, right, center, are covering the same story. And this is one of the few tools I know of that can really help you detect the political spin, the bias, catch stories that your usual sources might downplay or not cover at all, on everything from immigration policy to economic shifts. If you want to get a bigger picture, a broader picture of what's being reported, Ground News is an invaluable source to keep you informed. And Ground News is offering my audience 40% off their top tier Vantage plan. You'll only pay $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pakman or enter the code Pakman in the app to get started. The link is in the description.